Welcome back to the Dropouts Podcast. You are here with your host, Maj Sinclair. And to the left of me, we got my co-host, the one and the only.
It's your boy Bleezes. Welcome back. We got our one, the only.
It's your boy Chavey. I'm here. I'm a man of many talents, or trying to be a man of many talents, and making it work. Nice to meet you.
Wow, what a good introduction. I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. It's been a while since I've seen you. How you been?
Good. Building my army slowly with my weird ability to create little girls out of anywhere. I'm a girl dad, so
Hell yeah.
it's my
This
greatest
your second
accomplishment.
one? Is that what I heard?
Yes, it's my second one that's mine, but I have a family that just keeps making children, and then my my elder statesmen keep just taking in other people's children. It's a weird gift they have of, oh, you have a hard home life, you're mine now. I don't know why they do it, but it's beautiful.
It is, and congrats on the second child.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
We soon we'll have little noises.
Soundboard.
Yeah, we'll have the
Oh, so
applause.
clap.
The applause in it for you.
I felt it in my heart. I
That's
liked
right.
it. I liked it.
Yeah, man, 2 girls. How you excited?
So, like I said, my life has been filled with children, so it's just normal for me. But I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Like, it's a beautiful piece, even though it's not easy. But it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah. I want to have a bunch of babies, but like, hopefully they're boys. I don't have a problem with girls.
Hopefully they're boys.
Nah,
Fuck all that girl shit. Oh.
I've told people like I want 10, but like if I get 3 girls, I'm gonna stop.
Nah.
But if I get 4 boys, we'll keep popping them out. But I feel like it's different raising a boy and a girl, you know. I feel like you'd be a good like girl dad though. I feel like you got the vibes for it.
I'm happy I got a girl first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think of all the things that I was going through before I had my daughter and how I got to there. I think if I had a boy first, I would have gone even crazier, and then I would have made him a little crazy version of myself. So I'm glad I got to like be softened by a girl, because like immediately she came out, I'm not going to lie to you, cried. Tears. All the struggle that I felt just getting to that point with her, just tears, like to the point where my mom was like, yo, you good? Like, what's going on? Yeah, and her mom was just like,
First time seeing you crying, huh?
yeah, like, and it was a weird experience, but like I said, that peace, that like weight lifted off the shoulders, is different. And if you have like 3 girls back to back, I think I'll just touch the competitor in you and go, you don't think you can get a boy on the 4th one? You quitting already? And I feel like you'd be like, oh, you think so? And you'll like.
There's another one. I'm like, you keep this one now.
You did this.
Hey man, my plan is just what's the Fantasy Factory?
Yeah.
I just have one of those, and I just go
Yeah, they could hang out there.
You come over in 10 years, you're like, why are all my kids on the ceiling? I go, it's a fantasy factory.
Right? That's funny. They got zero gravity
It's a
boots.
foam pit underneath them.
Come on.
Right.
I mean, if they fall, they're not gonna die. You might lose some toes, but I mean,
Just some toes.
character.
I'm trying to. I need a son. They need sparring partners. We need to have some sort of family bracket. You know what I mean? And I could throw my daughters in there, but then like there's gonna be a point in age where like it just becomes like unfair.
So
Unless she's
my
the
daughter
oldest.
already punches really hard, and I felt it, and she's fascinated with kicking. So I think even though I have a fascination with MMA, I go, oh, my daughter's gonna kick behind. And the girls in my family are ridiculously strong, so like I'm not gonna put them up against a man, but if like I go for like 5 minutes, I go, my mom has to handle somebody, I go, I'll be there. And I trust that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I've seen my mom fight a grown man, so
Yeah,
she did
could
really
hold
well
on
until
for
I
5
got
minutes.
there. Yeah. Oh yeah, just 5 minutes.
Well, hopefully your daughter's never got to fight anybody.
I would love that.
I think that I personally believe that you're going to cultivate the life for them, or they don't got to.
That's my goal. I want to give them the skills to be as tough as possible, but like I want that, what do they call it, soft life era. I want that for like the rest of eternity for like my family. I want all this struggle now to just be just it.
I hear you.
Oh yeah, I feel that. Question, kind of off topic. How do you feel about being hoodless with your?
Oh sure, yeah. Oh,
I just want the people to be able to get a good view of you. You know what I mean?
I'm an Africanicus romanticus, so I'm just adorable in all my facets and phases.
Yeah, I feel like he was looking a little mysterious. Like people are gonna be like, "Yo, who is this guy?" Or I didn't know if you were worried about like this is gonna be one of the biggest podcasts we have already. I think we're up there with are we number
One.
top five, number one? We might have beaten Joe Rogan, and Emma Chamberlain's by the time this comes out.
I feel it.
So I didn't know if you were like
I feel
trying
it's
to keep
a
it
little
low
disrespectful
key.
to put them in the same bracket as you. It's a little.
They do
haven't
their
worked
thing.
enough.
They do their
It's not-
thing.
It's not right.
They paved the way. We gotta give them credit.
Yeah. They opened the door and we sprinted through it.
I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
when they created the wheel,
Exactly.
other ways of transportation kind of left. But hey, that's just me.
So, you probably know the most about anyone. Or you probably know the most about combat sports than anyone that I personally know. So, I want to pick your brain about some of these guys. I know Blake does too. So, earlier we were talking about some of these UFC guys. We were talking about some boxing guys.
Mm-hmm.
One of our boys said that he's not the biggest fan of Devin Haney.
There's probably a reason. I think the way Devin comes off, he comes off like a jerk, but I think he's been placed there and then he never did the job to get himself out. So Devin is an African American man, which is sometimes a strike depending on who you ask. He's a Muslim American man, which is sometimes a strike depending on who you ask. He's really good without stopping power. People love seeing knockouts, and Devin is not just a flash knockout person. If you let him knock you out, he will. But he's past the point where the bums will be there, and he's past the point where anybody who would just take the chance of being knocked out is there. So in the case of those top guys, when he eventually fights Tio, or when he eventually fights Shakur, or if he does fight Lomachenko again, if he hurts them, they're gonna shore up their defense. They're not just gonna take it, and they're good enough that the chances to knock them out just won't be there. It's just not how it works. Like a guy on the street fighting Devin, like was it Bradley Martin? He was saying, "Oh, I'd kill you." He wouldn't kill him, but if Bradley lets Devin hit him, he's probably gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, I think I've seen Bradley Martin because Bradley Martin talks about wrestling and whatnot, and even as big as he is, I saw him getting yossed by some like jiu-jitsu guys. They were high level though, but like they were showing you like, bro, I don't care how big you are, and I feel like he really thinks he could beat Devin, but I think
he was saying in a street fight.
But like in a street
But
fight,
in
you're
a street
still gonna
fight,
get clipped.
what if he grabs your shirt? You can't move.
How fast is Bradley Martin?
Not fast.
I don't know. I've never been with the guy.
'Cause
in
he's-
person.
he's
he's a
probably-
big guy and he's pretty fucking quick.
From what I've seen,
I see.
from what I've seen
I
him
just- all
rolling
visual.
around, he's not very fast. He's so big that he's
You're
just
saying rolling around though. That's different. Completely different.
than boxing.
on the
Very
street
fast.
fight too. you know?
Well, so the reason he said he'd beat him in a street fight is because he's like, we're not going to be boxing.
because of size.
I'm
right,
going to grab
exactly,
you.
Right.
And that's what he like. Even
I
when
want to hear your take on this too, because
People
in my
forget how
eyes, I would
fast
think that
striking
the other
is.
guy would. I know he's got him in the striking, and he gets one good hit, he's knocked out. But it's like, in a street fight, do you think he's going to be able to get that hit off against that big of a guy coming at
coin
him that
flip.
quick? It is.
It's a
It
coin
is.
flip. So Devin is an elite boxer.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like him right now because some people feel like he lost to Lomachenko.
I feel like
some
that's a
people-
big cause for him right now.
Which
for
that's
sure.
that's how it ends up happening. All you need is one "I don't like you" moment, and then you're just a bad guy. Which I think they can curb that, and he can become an even bigger star off just the hate.
Mm-hmm.
With Bradley Martin, I've never seen him fight. I've
Right.
seen him lift weights a little bit. I see him
He's just a
hang out.
giant. That's it. You know.
And as a person who's been like in there with somebody who's way bigger than me, I won. And that's not even me trying to be cocky. That's like you just didn't know enough to use all that giant you got in you, and you lost.
But that's in a ring.
Regular fight. I was a knucklehead
Okay,
in
you're talking
Florida.
about in a street
I
fight?
both. There's been tons of guys where I'm like, oh, he should kill me, and he just didn't know what to do.
But
You
was
have
this
to know
guy
what
trying
do.
to square up with you, or is he like, I'm just gonna fuck you up? Because if
Yeah.
I'm Bradley
Street
Martin
fight.
and I'm fighting Devin Haney, I'm not squaring up with you. I'm going full speed.
What do
at
you mean by not squaring
he's
up?
running at
Like
you.
me and you aren't gonna like, let's go. I'm not dancing with you, bro. I'm gonna try to take you out.
Yeah,
you
street
know?
fight. Yeah, that's so. A lot of people can't street fight either.
For sure.
So it's like there's some boxers where like you're a really good boxer, but if I take you out of this ring, what are you doing? what's happening? And that rolls in the same thing of like there's just different avenues. Like my key point for like UFC fighters when they come over to box, stop jumping out within a couple of months to box guys who've been world champions for years. Go take a little bit of time. Like I think Nate will do better than most people think he will, but I think he's probably gonna lose.
Think he'll get knocked out for the first time.
Lose.
That's what I don't want to see.
Not knockout.
Bro, what if
I think you're right there too.
I think
He's never
Nate
been
has the
finished.
chin, but also Nate's old.
he's coming out, you know, he's done with his career. In his prime, no chance. But I feel like now, I don't know, bro. I feel like he's just not a boxer.
The footage I've seen, he does not look like he belongs in a ring.
That's
He's
why
just
I
so
say-
open, so loose, so wide.
He's
If he goes in
perfect
there
for
like
MMA.
that, yeah. If he goes in there
Is
like
it?
that, I think with Jake.
You think that's still perfect for MMA? I think those holes are
okay. There's still holes, but I feel like to even attempt that, it's because you're like, you might kick me. I'm gonna try to do some jujitsu. So I'm like, all right, you know, you see dudes do weird things in MMA, and sometimes it works. Like you see how Aljo moves, and it's like if Aljo could not move like that in boxing. Or maybe I don't know. He's a weird guy.
It's a difference in
know.
distance. Like I sparred with some MMA guys the other day. We talked about this. The angles being different, it throws you until you like gather all the information. There's a really, really strong guy out of Rock Hill I was sparring with. I'm trying to remember his name. His right hand was so different. He got me with it 3 times before I like figured out what it was, and I was just like, this does not taste like Mama's home cooking. I don't like this at all. And it was a day where I was like, oh, this is. I told him I was like, I want to spar you again. Like we need more time because I like this. Granted, it was like not the best day for us to be sparring, but I was like, oh, we're friends now. I want
MMA guy.
Yeah, MMA guy. Like it's a gym in Rock Hill. Their coach, interesting guy. He just him and a smattering of just random MMA guys. Whereas like some like. I think they range from like 160 to their heavyweights, and then one of the guys, like he should be a boxer. The way he moved, and then we stopped together, and he was like, "Oh, I wanted to spar you," and I was like, "I feel that," because he doesn't look like an MMA guy at all. I feel like they just stole a boxer from somewhere and was like, "Hey, we're gonna teach you how to grapple, and we're gonna find this." But yeah, I think MMA guys, if they took the actual time, some of the guys that decided to do it would have done a lot better. Like Conor boxing most regular boxers instead of Mayweather, they would have done fine.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. When you think about like who he boxed, it's like that was crazy. Some high level boxing, you know.
For sure.
And he was always going to lose that one. It's not even a fair. And they go because it's an older Mayweather, so they're like, oh, he's old. No. That was game bred planning where they set Conor up for that because they knew his stamina, they knew he was the stronger guy, they knew Conor had really good angles, even though they're MMA styled angles. When he uses them, he will catch you. But if you look at go watch that fight. It's little
Slowly breaking him apart.
And you go with the guy who's basically a computer.
Facts. Literally coming out different rounds and shit. You're like, okay, I got this, and then he like downloaded a new character.
Yeah.
Has a new fighting style by the time you get out there.
Like, I wouldn't fight Floyd. I'm cheating immediately.
Cheating.
I'm laying on him, headbutting him, all types of stuff.
Feel
Just
that?
because I also think he's much stronger than people give him credit for. Because people have talked about sparring him and clinching and everything else. I wouldn't be surprised if like I'm wrestling with Mayweather and like I have to use some actual strength, and I'm way bigger than him.
Yeah, he just probably knows how to like use his strength and weight in the right way.
Yeah, like he's him and Tyson Fury are just weird as shit to me.
Interesting that you
What do you make of
compare
that
them to.
Fury and Ngannou fight? Speaking of UFC crossovers, too early.
I wish Ngannou really actually went to box. This is a great fight to see, but you jump from, yes, the UFC is creme de la creme, but now you've literally changed sports. You don't ask somebody to go, oh, you won the Super Bowl last year. Play for the Lakers. Just play for the Lakers. You and LeBron, just make it happen, and I think it's going to be the same effect. I think we just think, oh, punching, kicking, just take the kicks. Take the wrestling out. You're a wonderful puncher. And the angle of Ngannou's punching, unless he got in with a legit boxing coach, it's usually all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so... It's the same thing with Deontay Wilder. Mm-hmm. I just beat you already. It's just now you're bigger, so I can't lay on you now.
push him away in the clinch and shit.
Because Tyson Fury's a giant special man.
Huge.
He's yeah. It's gonna be really interesting to see Ngannou being the small guy.
Yeah, but also it's Tyson Fury has something he has. Ngannou's probably the closest to his size he's probably gonna fight.
Weight wise.
So like that physical weight he put on Deontay in the second and third fight,
Them legs were giving
it's not gonna work. Deontay also is just. It's one of those what ifs, because you started late, you didn't listen for a couple of years, and now we see what it's like when you actually listen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what if you did that 10 years ago?
Right, because he started boxing, didn't he?
He started boxing
beginning of his career.
I think he was like 20.
Okay.
I think he was 20, went to the Olympics, got a bronze. It's because his daughter was sick.
Damn.
And it's like one of those things where I'm like, what if we found you at like 12?
Mm-hmm.
Either he'd be an animal, or he'd be like, "Yo, I hate it too much."
Or it's like what he had to go through is what made him what he is today, too.
True.
You know, because he
True.
went through a lot out there.
True. And I think the best thing for him at this point is just keep trucking on. The heavyweight division is a weird place. I think eventually Jared Anderson and the what's the dude? It's a dude from Eastern Europe. I think those are the two that are going to come out on top. I'm blanking on it. Filip Hrgović. I think he's going to clean up because he just got hurt, but he'll end up being all right. Weili Zhang, no, that's the girl. No, Big Bang Zhang is the guy from China. I think he's 39. He hits really hard. He's got an interesting fundamental style. He could be there, but he's also old. He still has to go through Joe Joyce, who I didn't know was as old as he is. But I'm going to stop going on a tangent. But I think the heavyweight division, I think, will end up being is going to melt in a couple of years where there's going to be a guy again, and then we'll just go through the same process because we suffered for a while with the heavyweights.
For sure.
Feel that. You what's going on with Gervonta?
I think he's
Just
out of
got
jail
out.
now.
Yeah, I
just
saw
a
that
pic
he
of
got
him walking
out. But like, why? What even happened? Why did he go
the
in?
car shit a few years back is what I heard.
The car shit?
Like he hit some people in a car a few years ago. I don't know the exact. I don't remember. Right?
He was in the car. I think someone like it's one of those things where like I think it's like the homie is the one who hit somebody with the car or something like that. And then him talking about the judge, I think is going to probably get him in trouble because he was like, I bought a place in Maryland. She's just mad I could buy a place. Da, 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 da.
He said that?
Yeah. Gervonta's an interesting guy, and I think he has all the talent in the world. So it's like one of those things where like when he's wrong or even when he's right, like sometimes we just go, that's Gervonta. It's like when it's a sassy black girl at work. No disrespect to him, but like sassy black girl at work can do whatever she wants. Gervonta has crazy powers.
Bro, I love Gervonta because like he's one of the zestiest like boxers I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Zesty in the sense of like, dude, like you know what zesty means?
Tell me.
It's like, I feel like it's like the new way of saying like sus, but like not as like. Oh, he's not like overtly sus, but he's like zesty. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of zest. You know, like you might be like, "Yo, what's up with him?" Like I don't know, a little zest. But
I've definitely
cool.
seen some zesty shit.
He's just
about him.
I feel like he just moves like a toddler when he's not boxing. Like his mannerisms are just so cute, kind of like Lil Uzi. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen
a
like
success thing? I think once you hit a certain mark past the point you thought, you're just like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and nothing's gonna be said about it because I literally, in Gervonta's case, I came from Baltimore, Maryland.
Facts.
My coach is literally one of the characters on The Wire. Who's gonna say anything? And if I touch you on the chin, you will evaporate like Thanos.
Facts. Nah,
Yeah.
I agree, but it's just fun to watch like online. Like you ever see Lil Uzi eating like candy?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, you gotta get on the Lil Uzi fucking fandom, bro.
You gotta get a team.
He literally
Google.
he'll
For
eat
real.
like fruit snacks in 3 bites. First of all, like
The whole
the
pack?
one fruit snack. No. One fruit snack is 1 bite. He'll just like he was just listening to songs in the car and he's just
Yeah, I
like,
like that.
Some
I like that.
zesty ass shit.
I like that. But also, I think that's an unfair thing for us because immediately anything we do that's not normal, it's
zesty.
It's-
But what's
yeah,
funny
or
is
it's
like.
questionable.
For sure.
Like there's this thing online, right, where girls be like, "Oh, my boyfriend gave me an ick," and usually it's when a guy does something slightly feminine or just human, really. Like, you know
Just
what I mean?
human.
Like a guy will like a girl will be like, "Oh my god, my boyfriend like." We were in the car accident. He flew out of the car, and the way like he landed and like moaned when he hit the ground,
Like
like
chick for the, I think she fought in the UFC. She's not there anymore, or she might have just been in like another promotion. But she was on Joe Rogan talking about a dude she was dating, and he was getting knocked out. She's like, he went like this, and I just remember that moment. I was watching it. I don't remember her name, but apparently she's really dope as far as grappling. Apparently she just, if she gets you, it's over.
yeah.
But in the same clip, they were showing of her, like, her response where she was like, I just wasn't attracted anymore. How could you just go out like a man? And then it's like the next video is her getting knocked out the exact same way. And I was like, go out like a woman.
Right? But yeah, so it's funny because like that's like the climate we live in when women be like, oh, I got the ick. He was getting knocked out and try to defend himself, and then you got dudes like Tank who be knocking dudes out. Like literally when he dropped Ryan, went back to his corner, like this fucking like daisied on over. I fuck with him. He's entertaining.
Also, I think we just discredit how docile of creatures we are. Like, I think people in general, you're not supposed to do half the things you do as a human being.
They're not.
And we just love it. And then whenever you don't go to like if he can't build me a house, no one does that anymore. Like there's a section of people that do that, but most successful men in like the world have like that one job that they're good at, and then like you'll ask them, okay, cool, do this next thing. Okay, cool. You can build me a house, but can you do plumbing? That's Dave's job. That's Dave.
Gotta call
that.
somebody.
Nah, she's like Dave could do the plumbing.
And now she's got to date Dave. But now, guess what? Your walls are faulty.
Right.
Everybody has their job. Everybody has a thing that they're good at, and that's just the reality of it. Like we know Malik. Mm-hmm. Malik is way better at angles than me, and I'm the guy that introduced him to angles. That's the weirdest thing. Because he was like, I saw Lomachenko do this thing, and I was like, just try this. And a month later, and I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do with you. Like we were light sparring. He did something, and I was like, oh, this would have gotten me. I would have been knocked out because I wouldn't have seen this punch coming. But luckily, I was bigger, and we were just light sparring.
Isn't it interesting when you show someone something and they get it so quickly? Like sometimes it feels good because it's like, all right, I taught this well because like I struggled with it. But then like, you know, when you like get the piece of a puzzle, like maybe like a year later, and then you like fix something. So when you show it to someone, you're able to like give them that small piece, and then they like now instead of learning it the wrong way, they only practice it the right way, and then it just becomes really effective. I've been finding that with some of the people who I train, because a lot of my training was, I'm in gyms where I'm like in big group classes, but I do a lot of one-on-one with people. So like I'm able to like tweak specific things, and I could only teach them to what I know. So then eventually I'm like, oh, I'm telling this person everything I know, and they're getting fucking good, which is always cool. But sometimes it's interesting because I feel like it's helped me as a fighter as well, because the people who I train, I see them doing shit that I do, right? Or even if it's a mistake, I'm like, oh, don't do this like this. And then I realize like, oh, you watched me kind of do that like that, but I couldn't see myself do it. But now that I have like you mimicking me, I can like kind of like play with that.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's what you like kind of happened with the Malik situation.
Oh, it's been a couple of times now where like I'll look and I'll go, hey, didn't we go over this? And then people will slowly get better than me at it. And it's this thing where like, and it's not me like pretending like I don't have an ego. I have one, but it's this weird thing. I think it's my big brotherness where I go, yeah. Because all of the kids that I train, I tell them, I go, in a couple of years, I want you to be outrunning me, outpunching me. I want to not want to spar you when the time comes. Because right now, like all those kids, I'm going light because I'm an adult man. But I can see I can see where it's going. Like there's a kid named Vontae. I know his dad through music, and then he said, I want to box. It was just a thing that just happened, and I'm watching him put it together. Where like I think even the sphere that he's thinking technically, I think he'll be better than. He's a southpaw. His punch structure is very interesting and amazing, but he looks at people who are just like, I think a tier under where he is going to be in a couple of years. So he'll be like, oh, I like this guy. And I go, and then like when he starts shooting for like the stars, and I go, yeah, that's more you. You're going to be this. And right now he's just a teenage kid.
Is that the one we worked with on one day?
Yes.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. Hell yeah. I fucked with that kid.
Even your setup is amazing. Where I go, like, if you decided to just box, I think with like heads-on coaching, I think you do really well. Especially size, power, strength. I don't think anyone would be able to bully you, especially in the next, I think, 2 weight classes you would be in. I think you do very well because you're an interesting ball of fun.
Cool. Yeah. I honestly like the gym Top Tiger team. They offered me some like training thing there, and I was looking into it. So I actually recently found out about that gym. But one of the dudes there's a fucking bare knuckle guy, and he was telling me the bare knuckle bread is just it's kind of where it's at.
It's because it's an emerging sport.
Yeah.
I got to spar with a bare knuckle guy, and he which it's been this weird thing in my life where like me, I'm not picked up by anybody, but I keep getting random people from teams. Like I got to spar with a guy from Jerron Ennis's camp, and it was like that was amazing. Then I got to spar with a guy from Errol Spence's camp, who was the bare knuckle guy. He came out and he just worked in the gym with them, and then like that spread of what professional is, because these aren't world champions, but it's things like I've never seen before. So it's like, oh this, and it's like just seeing where I have to go and what I got to do is like always fun. So like after getting over the moments of like, damn, I got caught with that right hand, or I got caught with a hook, or I cannot put this here. It's this fun of like, oh, okay. This is what the next stage looks like. There's a guy, his name is Q, where like he's if you spar with him, he gets vicious. Like when he wants to, like he will hurt you. He will sit down and he will take his time hurting you. And he ended up losing to somebody on like the world stage, David Morrell, he fights at 175 and 168. All of the main belts are their Canelos right now, but the ancillary side belts, I think he has one of those. He's a guy from Cuba, which Cuban boxers, not a fun time. I love them, but every time I see them fighting somebody, it looks like they're just sending them down a path of horror, and you're just never going to get it. And they seem happy dancing and just losing their mind and having fun. But I saw him take apart someone who I have a hard time sparring even to this day. And I go, oh, that's the world stage. That's that next level. And that moment of like horror of like, damn, I'm not where I want to be. And then that moment of, what if I could beat him? What if maybe another mile running? Maybe if I work on this strength training, maybe if I get this training program and I try this, or so there's moments where I go like, I gotta lose weight because these guys are crazy, and I'm a tiny heavyweight because I'm 5'10" barely. Like a girl told me I was 5'7" the other day, and I was like, yo, you don't get to.
Girls don't know what anything is.
No, yeah.
like
do you watch what's it called? Do you guys listen to Brilliant Idiots at all?
Somewhat, yeah. That's Charlemagne and
Andrew, which
yeah.
I love them. They're because they help. Like podcasts helped me out of a dark time, because there was a time where I couldn't see anybody, and then I was just working, and I had the early Joe Budden podcast when it was on Name This Podcast later. I had just gotten into Joe Rogan. But back to the main point of she was talking about the Adam 22 situation.
Oh my!
And she was like, "Dick's not that big," and then the guys all looked and they were like, "What do you mean?" Like,
wait, hold on. She said that about who?
The dude who slept with
She said about Jason Love.
Yeah, that's his name. She's like, it's not that big, and they were like, you can take that, and she was like, yeah, I've had bigger, and they all like were like, wait, and they were like, how long do you think that is? And she's like, I don't know. And they were like, then they brought up the actual length, and she was like, oh no, and then she couldn't backtrack, but it was one of those things where I was like, oh, you just don't know anything about dicks or like sizes of things. And then I was, because I ain't gonna lie, like I watched the video, I have the internet, and I was like, I'm fascinated.
You bought it?
I didn't buy it. I found a free place to see it because I'm a scumbag. But
I haven't seen it. I'm curious.
Do it. Free for me.
Yeah, I was trying to see because she got her shit's $5 to subscribe. I was like, I got $5.
I feel it.
And then it was like to watch a video was $20, and I was like, I don't got $25.
That's
to
smart.
invest into this thing.
Because now you're down a rabbit hole. Now there's a lot of people are gonna be like, all right, whatever, and they're just gonna.
Well,
do
see,
it.
now the way I do it is as soon as I subscribe, I unsubscribe right after.
Oh.
So you
like
get that one time.
yeah, I've
30
only
days, baby. Let's go.
Only ever subscribed for like educational purposes, marketing, and whatnot. There was a time of my life where I was making the bag that way, and then now I make bags other ways. So like I'm no longer there. But then I was like, no way this happened. I honestly thought that they were faking it. Like it was like, haha, gotcha.
That's funny.
I feel it.
Yeah. Well, what's your take on the whole Adam 22, Lena, Jason, shebang? It's a good word for it.
People
shebang.
are all over the place with it. If it's their choice as a couple, it's not my opinion. Like honestly speaking, if like somebody is like, oh yeah, because it's gonna sound weird. I've had the offer of like, you want to fuck my girl, and it was this weird moment of like, what do you mean? It's like, no, my girl thinks you're cute. You want to fuck my girl? And I was like, we're friends. You're my boy. He's like, oh, that's cool. You want me to leave the room? You want to fuck her? And I was like, how do we?
You'd probably did you just leave the room? Were you just like, yo, this is too much for me?
Nah. So
He's like, no, I fucked my.
So this is a two-pronged thing because I ended up with. So in that situation, it just warped my brain, and I was like, dog, I really appreciate you like as a person. No disrespect to her, because she's a cutie patootie. I love like. She was right down my alley at the time. So in other cases, if I didn't like care about him, maybe, but like I liked him as a person, and even then that threw like a wrench in our friendship.
That you said no.
Yeah. It was like, hey man, like what's wrong with my girl? And I was like, nothing. I like you. You're my guy. It was like, she wouldn't fuck my girl, and I was just perplexed for like the rest of that time. And then another time I was sleeping, and then like this is like high school, so.
That's a crazy way to start off any sort of like sex story. This other time I was sleeping.
Oh yeah, no, so I'm in a room. I don't really partake in drugs, so I miss out on a lot of stuff. And I've always been like running around and being stupid and making music and jumping around and trying to be an athlete. So at the time I was running miles. I was hanging out with my friends. Some of my friends sold drug related stuff. I don't know what the proper word would be. But I was sleeping, and then someone was getting some cutty in like the same room, and for some reason, cool man, you know. But I'm half awake, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just try to go back to sleep because I don't want to confront this. And then I just get like a girl hand touching me. I'm just like, I'm asleep. Like thing with like life, like I grew up with a single mom for a long period of time, so the way I saw women was like in one box, and it's like you love her and da 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 da. So like I think the back end of my like teenage years to like the early part of my 20s was just like tearing that down and recreating it, because I couldn't just go straight to like no matter what, like if you ever hear my music or how I talk, I'm never just gonna like these bitches, these hoes. That's just not me. But I had to realize it's like everybody ain't trying to be your wife, dog. Everybody
you grow up and you realize some of these bitches is hoes.
Yeah, and it's cool because even then, like the first person I ever sucked, it was a weird story, and then like she was just cool with me after, and that was not what we.
Yeah, that wasn't okay. I'm
Oh yeah.
Sorry that.
Weird in the beginning. Like the first time I got is the end of school, 5th grade, and then should I keep going down this rabbit hole? I feel like we were going somewhere, and then,
I mean we were, but I feel like at this point, like
I feel like all of my like childhood, like, because I didn't think of it as childhood traumas until I started telling people, because like this is just like, oh, this is just funny Florida stuff.
Florida,
yeah, and then like
and you live in the hood, like,
then I, like
shit just happened.
Oh no, like this is a nice area. Like I got like my parents got their stuff. Like there was a point where like when my parents were together, she was straight. Like it was like my mom, I give her a lot of credit of just like making stuff happen out of nothing. Like there was a time where like everything went bad, and you know how some people be like, oh yeah, and you see the can and it's got like, it doesn't have any like markings on the side, it just says what it is, and then like that's a sign of struggle, and like you learn to deal with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I just had like the can that said pork on it, and I was like, I'm gonna make something with this. And then like my mom talks about like times where like you gotta like spread one pack of chicken out for like this long period of time. And then I look, and even like times with my dad where like when we were all like one happy family where like there was no money, and then like you're just a kid having fun. Because even now, like I go with usually had older friends to now where like even now I got older friends, but now I'm in that weird space. And they were talking to me, and this girl who was well known, I won't say the lady's name, they're like, yo, take care of the homie. So we go to
Word.
so there's a little like a playhouse area, which this is where the story gets bad, where the apartment complex is. So we go to like the kids area. Strike number one. No kids are there. We go into like the little playhouse area, and she sits me on like the little kitchen part. And like the first time someone touches your joint, you know you're not prepared for that. So like I wasn't even watching porn or anything else yet. I was just like there. So like she takes my little pants and squiggles, and like she takes it down, and I'm like and like she grabs my shit, and I was like so in I want to say when everybody else has their first sexual experience, they're much more like prepared for this, and they're much more manly. I was a bitch. Like it's like she just took my pants, and like that first, she got her mouth on it. I was like, oh, because no one, nothing had come out of there except for pee. I washed it, and like even now, I think of just like that moment of just like her doing that, and I'm just like, once it hits where like this is happening, and like. I was like, this is wonderful. I love her.
I love her.
And she's so pretty, and she's doing this to me. And it's in your mouth. Oh my God. So I'm just going through this process. And then like she looks up. I guess it took longer than she expected. And as she's like saying whatever, she's like trying to figure out when I'm going to do my thing. This like watery liquid spurts out and hits her in the face. This weird gelatinous mess. I thought she broke because nothing to come out of there except for pee. So I was just like, and then she got mad, like on a dime. So like now I'm scared.
He said I've been running through all the emotions.
So like I've gone through everything. It went from just pure bliss. We're getting married. Like no one had ever touched she's my wife as far as I'm concerned. And then it just flipped, and now I'm running, and I didn't realize I hadn't. Oh yeah, oh no, fuck that. She was mad. My dick's out. I don't know what to do. So like I ran. I burst through the little playhouse area door. Then I burst through the little kids area. The fucking cartoons are playing. I'm running. I passed the vending machines. I'm running to the homies trying to get to the basketball court. I don't realize like my underwear still half down. My jump's like still wet and stuff, and pants are down. I got like cute kid underwear. It's more manly than what it comes off of, but you can tell this ain't a man's underwear. And they're like, yo, what the shit's up? And then they're laughing at me. And then she comes. She hadn't fully cleaned everything off. Now they're busting her out. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm crying. So now, like, I had been a tough little dude all this time. And now, like, I'm crying because, like, she broke my dick. I love her still. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, what are we going to do? Now we can't have kids, and I can't let one of you guys have her now. And then they broke it down to me. I was like, nah, bro. It's for the team. And that was the first time I had ever heard that concept where it was like, for the team. What's the team?
For the team. For the teams are crazy.
It's a crazy concept. And then like I had to hear more of it, and that's when you start figuring out things that like you start realizing who the hoes in your family are. And I meant like male hoes, because the male hoes in my family are like
that's
rafters.
Well, I mean, where's your family from?
Oh, so on my mother's side, Liberia. And then there's more mixes in that because Liberia, they got their independence from the U.S. and then they sent over Africans back to Africa. And they were like, hey, this is your home. And then people were already there. And it was like, they said this was ours. And then that's, well, part of the reason we've been warring since before any of us were born. And we'll probably be doing fucking machete fights and tuxedo shoes until we get it all together. That sounds really bad, but it's the truth. It's
but
crazy.
you got some hoes in your family from Liberia. I feel like depending on the culture, there is a lot of whoredom within cultures. I feel like I actively work to not be a hoe. I feel like it's my Jamaican ancestors kind of. Bro, I got a cousin. So all right, in Jamaica, there's this term called a gallus. I don't know if you ever heard the term. But a gallus is just a guy who loves galdom. And he just can't stop himself. And I have a cousin who's a complete gallus to the point of like, I hate going anywhere with him, bro. I hate going anywhere with him. If there's like a woman anywhere, I'm just like, bro, no, not here. Like we'll be in an Uber if it's a fucking woman driver. Like he's not aggressive, but like he's always just if there's a woman, like that's just where he is. That's where he is. But then I realized like, oh, this is just what this island is like. That's just kind of like the culture here.
A gallus.
Jealous.
Also,
Jealous.
my joke from earlier, Africa is a beautiful place. It's very well developed. The idea of it not being the same as here has been put out in the media in a lot of places. So my tuxedo shoes joke is like a joke I stole from a comedian way back. It's beautiful. It is Wakanda. But back to just that. Yes, those. Also, it gets worse as you get further into like relationships and growing up and not wanting to be a hoe. Because I'm just friendly. Like that's why like there's this weird thing of like gay people assume I'm gay for certain times. So like they're like, nah, he's really into me, and then my brother will be like, nah, he's just nice.
He's just a nice
He's
guy.
just nice, and then girls will be like, no, like he wants something, or like they'll get like aggressive with me. It's like I'm not giving you pussy, and I go, I just this is work, and I just wanted to make sure that I was just taping boxes, and we're just making all this stuff happen. Or we'll be at the gym, and then like a girl will, like fall in love with me, and I go, no, I have a daughter. And then some people will take it and like, I can get another one, and it's like, no.
Oh, you want more?
Like one chick hit on me, she's like, you make pretty babies, I need one. And I was like, oh, you're serious?
You said I need one.
You wanted me to ejaculate in you. This is not the conversation I thought we were having.
Where were you? Where is this work?
Yes.
You talked to HR,
No one cares about man problems.
right?
Charleston White's been putting me on.
No one cares about man problems. Just like even like if
We
you
were
look
talking
at
about
how
that today,
like man in TV is hilarious, or even
right?
even like if you look the story I just told you guys, or the sleeping story, there's
Any
mad
other way.
dudes who know that story because it happened to them.
Well,
And
I
it's
mean,
just
any
funny.
other way that it's a sad story if genders were reversed, you know.
Yeah. Like my mom was horrified because I tell my mom like tons of stuff I shouldn't have told her like my whole
You
life.
told your mom that story?
Oh no, yeah, the first time I did, I told her later, and then she was like, "You." In my heart, of
I'm just
hearts-
thinking about all the editing of this fucking.
Oh, I didn't know. I should have thought of that.
Nah, it's fine.
Wait, where are my parameters? I was like, I should
Bro,
ask what's on and
bro.
off.
Nah, bro. We'll just let this one. We'll just do the bleeps.
Because I was like, Spidey makes music. He's a funny guy. And you know what's funny? You know what's messed up?
What?
There's a long portion of my music career where I was like, let's try not to curse. Let's try to keep it clean.
That's funny.
And then like, I hit this moment of like, oh, we're podcasting. We're having fun. Like, treat it like, because as far as I'm concerned, you guys are getting like my this is my pod. No, technically speaking, you were still a part of my podcast debut. But like, to me, this is like the most important podcast I'll ever do.
Hell
Until like
yeah.
I have my own, and then I'll absorb you guys and make you guys come get on it. But like right now, this is the most important interview of my life. There's no bigger interview, not for a job, not for anything. The only thing that beats this is like the love portions of my life, like having a kid, falling in love, and etc. But this is my Super Bowl right now.
Hell yeah, I'm
Appreciate
happy,
your time,
and
man.
we don't want to limit you at all because I feel like the people need to hear the story. Like none of it's getting cut out. We're
Just a lot of bleeps.
We're just gonna bleep a
Yeah,
little
now,
bit.
now I feel like there's got to be a counter whenever.
Yeah, there definitely will be.
just like
We're gonna be sitting here having meetings like, you think this was okay to say? Like, it's not really a curse word. I was like, yeah, but he said how old he was. So
He said her name.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry,
you did.
Melissa. But
Oh shit,
just
man.
kids now. No.
Right? Oh my god, that's crazy. That's Florida though, man.
Oh no, it's here too. I've gotten even like coming to here. There was this girl where like we were dealing with each other, and I don't know. And she was like, "I need you to on the stairs," and I was like, "Excuse me." I come down, come to my apartment. It's 2 p.m. It is 2 p.m. Kids are about to get out of school. I'll make you not fast enough. And I'm like, the man in me was like, I like that. But like the person I was raised to be, was like, yo, you. If you get arrested right now,
right?
Facts.
For this,
Women are too bold.
oh, we're scumbags too. My brother was on crutches, sleeping with girls on the side of the car, and I had no idea because we were supposed to be like looking after our siblings, and he was just like crutch getting it. And it was like one of my sister's friends, and in my heart, I was like, I'm everybody's big brother, and he goes, I'm not. So like he'd have moments where like he goes, you know, that girl's into you, and I go, nah, she needs a big brother, because like I said, my mom would like my mom would take girls in and like take care of them, and then like certain ones I knew they needed a big brother, but my brother Jay was just like, not me. You got that good heart, you got that good, and I was like, I respect that, but you're a slimy. I love you, but it's just like, hey, because even then, like we did like a little mock up of like who we got, and like I looked back, and then like one of then we have another sibling, and they found out they were like Eskimo siblings.
Oh,
and then it was just this moment of like, what day did you do that? And I was like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this conversation. And they were just going through it. And then because I'm so nice, no one knows who I've slept with outside of like my like lady, because we have a child. So like you can't deny that one. But I just joke and I go, no, I was a virgin until I had my kid. Because my numbers aren't like tremendous.
That's what I've said on this very podcast, that I've never met anyone before I met my.
Because it's the truth.
Yes.
It's the truth.
Yes.
You never even looked at girls until then.
Yeah.
She popped up and you were like, that's what girls are? That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, my brother's still been trying to figure out certain bodies, and he got close to one. And I'm glad he like backed off, because he had me pinned. And I was like, dang. Because he's been trying to figure out, because I'm so like, there's a girl back in the day I called The Warmth. Because like.
The Warmth.
Was that the 5th grade girl?
Oh, no. She can't compare to The Warmth. She's a beautiful girl. Like I said, we were all, like, I have this fun thing of like, I like looking back for people to see what they're doing in regular life. But like The Warmth, I had this crazy crush, and then I was just like sleeping in the bed next to her, and then she put her leg on me, and like the warmth of like that leg and everything just glowed, and I was like, oh, give me that. Give me that right now. I just want to, like the Ice Spice girl goes, yeah, he's a munch. I realized way before that, but I was like, my munch activated, and I was like, oh.
Oh, the warmth got you.
Yeah. So like he'd been trying to figure out who the warmth was. He had been trying to figure out certain girls, and like
who the warmth was.
And because he's met her, and he has this thing of like me being so secretive. He goes, I'm your brother. I should know who you fucked. And I go, why? Why do you need to know? And he goes like, why does everybody else know? I go, no one knows but the woman I'm sleeping with.
No one knows but the warmth.
Yeah. And like he's like, how do I not know? And I go, if you figure it out, it's good on you.
I respect that you don't kiss and tell.
Never. Because one, I mean, it's not just my body. It's like if a girl goes out and she like tells like what I did, I'm gonna clutch my pearls. But I mean, I spit in your butt, so we're cool.
I don't know. I've never been a type to say don't say what I did. I like to have the reviews out there. It's like I feel like it sets up a referral program. Sometimes you got to live up to expectations, but it's just a part of the game.
I think I should have been a girl, by just the way. And this isn't me coming out as a trans man, but like my level of like sensitivity of like, no, keep it with just you and your partner.
You would have got your heart broken.
Oh no, because I'd have been real selective with this pussy.
They would have did you dirty. Dudes would have talked to you. They would have made you fall in love. They would have like hugged you and shit.
Nah, I need more than that.
Nah, but you're too much of a lover, bro. You would have been looking for that.
No, I would have been called a hoe, but I just wouldn't have gave nobody pussy. Like I can already see me, and then when I drop that fang down on him, yeah. Because like when I dropped that in this alternate universe, when I dropped that good choppy
That
pussy
wet,
off,
wet?
it would oh yeah, like I would have been Meg the Stallion. Yeah,
You would have had the Meg knees.
yeah. Also, I don't know, no, because I like eating girls out, so maybe I would have been a dick sucker if I was a girl. But just the thought throws me now. But maybe in another alternate universe, I'm
Throat
fucking
goat.
Oh yeah, I think maybe because I didn't. I ate girls out for me because I don't know, it was just like a cool thing for me. I thought it was great, and then as I like got older, I found out I was pretty cool at it, and I was like, oh yeah, you.
That's the only way to get good. It has to be like a passion to an extent.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that's something I got good at, but that's because I always had to like buy myself some time. You know what I mean? I feel like I've learned recently that I got good at it because I got to multitask sometimes. You know, when you do the double. You ever whip that up? You ever do like the two shorties at once?
Nah, I haven't been lucky. I've been like it's been like. How do I say this? I should have been a girl. I'm like I like focusing in and like taking care of you and rubbing stuff and putting my face in things.
You gotta be able to do it both ways.
But
bro.
also like I wouldn't mind. I had the chance to do the two, but also I didn't think I was smooth enough to not be in trouble after. So,
Nah, yeah, no, you definitely get in trouble.
He said that's the point.
No. It definitely depends on whom. Sometimes it's a trap. You got to make sure it's not. Sometimes it's a trap.
Because I got the offer. Because once upon a time there was an offer where like the young lady was like, "Oh yeah, so I'm gonna fuck your girl and I'm gonna fuck you," and I was like, "Did you like okay that with her?"
Oh no, okay, that is a trap.
No, there's more. There's more.
Someone
where like my girl at the time was just like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great, but why does she feel comfortable talking to you about this?"
Trap.
And I was like, "Wait, I brought this straight to you. I literally left the conversation." And then I was with a young lady who was fond of women, and she was like, "So I'm gonna bring this girl and we're gonna do this." And I was like, "You can just fuck her. You do your thing, and I can be in the room and just watch. You don't want to take part in this?" And I go, "You like me a lot. You're not gonna let it touch me." So even though like the chances have been there, I've been smart enough to go, "I'm gonna mess this up."
Nah, you gotta not. I understand what you mean though, because I know a lot of people in this position who have because they're not good at dividing attention, but you gotta figure it out, man. It's definitely a skill. The one thing that I will say, you ever be like in a situation where like you kind of tired and you know like you're shorty trying to like get something popping, but you kind of tired, and like sometimes you might, but sometimes you're kind of tired. It's interesting when it's like now you kind of outnumbered. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're kind of tired, but then it's like stuff's already starting, and then it's like shit, you get FOMO. You know what I mean? So you gotta wake yourself up. You gotta do what you gotta do, and I'll say it's kind of a cheat code, right? So at first I would think like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to last. There's too much going on, but then I realized like, you know how like you kind of gotta like spread yourself out by like taking a break and then like doing something else. So sometimes you gotta like turn off the sensation on your Jimmy and just focus somewhere else. You feel me? Like, you ever do the thing where you, like, count down in your head or something, or you, like, bite your tongue, or you just, like, try to distract yourself from what's going on? No? To, like, last longer? Like, you're like, this is about to happen.
Right, dog.
What?
I'm not suppressing that shit. It's going out.
I think
I gotta... See, when there's two people, though, now everyone wants to, like, they have to reach where they gotta reach before you, so, like, it's like, damn, I'm a couple stops away. And then if you try to rush it, girls don't work that way.
Yes, I understand that. I realize like so I feel like I'm gonna misconstrue love right now, but I'm gonna say this moment of like I already knew I loved my girl, and I'm probably getting too into the TMI situation. But like once I knew my girl knew me, I was like, oh, I'm finished. Like she like knew like all my tricks and stuff, and I started like have to figure out stuff. And she's the person who's made me come the fastest in like my life, because I have this thing of
How fast?
15 minutes.
That's not very fast. Fastest in your life? Are you telling
But
me
she-
you ain't
she's
never do
beating
no
that-
quickie in
Oh,
your
no,
life?
I have my dick just is its own person.
So you do quickies and just stop? Like,
No. So like she's beaten that time now, but before then, like I've had girls where it was like, "You don't like me, do you?" And I'm like, "What do you? This feels wonderful." It was like, "Why haven't you come yet?" And I'm like, "We're in mid fuck. You should just be oohing and ahhing right now. What do you?"
nah, you get that sometimes, bro. Sometimes they really will feel that way because they're like, yo, that's not going to happen.
And I've had that happen where like that was like the end of relationships, where it was like, we've been doing this for a while. You take too long to come with me, and it's like you don't really feel me. And I was like, no, I like you.
It's
You're my
because they've been in a situation where like someone nutted in like less than a minute, and they're like, "Sorry, you're just so hot," and then now you're fucking 15 minutes in. You're like,
That
"Are
was
you
one of
almost
the
there?"
weirdest moments when that finally, because my girl just beat me. Like I said, now when she's like ready to kill me, which sorry baby, it's like 15 minutes. It's not a long thing, but like the first time she ever made me like nut fast, and I was like, "Yo, what?" You ever like have a moment where like you gotta go talk to your dick in the, like the mirror? It's like, "Yo, what's going on, bro? Was it not a good game? Did we like the camera's a little too light for what?" Like I had a whole moment where I was like, "I'm a bitch." I was like, "I can't believe it." Like it was one of those where, like my back seized up, and I was like, "Ah!" And then she was so proud of herself, and I was hurt because I was like, I've never had a bad game.
So you can't like you ain't never like made yourself like you've never been pressed for time like a situation like I don't know maybe like family gathering someone
always
leaves
need to
for a
come.
little bit.
I'm weird. I don't always need to come.
You're wild.
So like
You
if
an edger.
I'm weird, so like in the sense of like if she got hers, like even younger, if I gotta like have a quick one and she's gotta get hers, I'll leave.
I feel like I'm one of those first rounder, right? 30 seconds in, I'm already ready. And the rest of it is just fighting until that moment where it's like, it seems like we do it at the same time because I'm just like waiting, like, please, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta get this finished. So I could definitely do the whole, like, you know, hour if need be. But also, like, if it's like, we got 3 minutes, like, if you could get off in 3 minutes, I could get off in 3 minutes. So,
I feel like I wasn't. I feel like a lot of my experiences, I ended up like I was a tool. So like it was one of those things of like my girl like actually loved me and wanted to do this with me, and like she like loved me, so she took her time. She got with me. She figured out what I liked. She was with me in just all aspects, like even like in life stuff, where like I was talking to one of my younger brothers the other day, and he was just like going over the fact that his girl loved him, and it was like a weird thing in his brain. And I was like, no, that's supposed to happen. And I was like, oh, we're fucked up. We're a mess. Like we get loved, and we're just confused by it. And this is one of those things where like when I was with toxic women, I didn't know they were toxic. I was like, this is love. It's cool. Sometimes she just loses her mind. She wants to like fight me.
That's women though. Sometimes,
My
not all.
girl doesn't want to fight me.
Not all.
It'd
But
be
see,
confusing.
but it's different because you're from Florida, right? You know, I'm from New Jersey, where like that's just what you see. That's just what it looked like.
But we're a mess, and we just don't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like you're like there's
You
granted
got fifth
there's
grade stories.
building blocks, great stories, but it's like there's building blocks that once you're there. Like I want my, like I sit and look at like all the things I've been through, and I look at like my younger siblings and people I have under me, and I just go, I don't want that for you. Like these stories are fun, but at the time, like I thought my dick was broken.
Yeah,
It's
that is
hilarious
scary.
now.
That is scary.
It's hilarious now, but like when you're like a young kid, it's just like, oh my god, or like the first time like I look back at like most of like my first sexual experiences, and I go, it's not how that's supposed to go. And then like when I finally get to like my first like good one, I go, oh, okay.
Oh, that's what this was.
Oh, this is just supposed to be simple. And like, because I think there is like I think like mad stuff in my life is just like failures until you get it right.
Oh yeah.
Like even like me like doing half the stuff I love, I just failed upwardly until it made sense. And then it's like I'm here now.
Oh yeah.
Like even kissing, like I wouldn't go to kissing because like just never had to. Like it was just like if someone wanted to like, it's like, hey, like I have those weird stories. It's like, hey, I'm trying to suck a dick, and it's like, why? I'm not gonna say no, but like, why do you want to do that? And then like when I'm now like I got to like my first sets of like love, where like it's like now I'm just like I'm kissing. And I was like, is this straight? Like, because I don't do this tongue kiss thing. And then it was like one of the thing where like the first girl I was like in the beginning tongue kissing, and she was like mad forceful. And then like she's like eating chips, so I don't eat chips, and like other things like where like my life is just a weird story. Like I'm Black Seinfeld. Where like I have all these episodes in my head that are just gonna be my life, and they're gonna be like, he made such a great show, and I'm gonna no, I'm traumatized. I'm a mess.
Feel that. Well, hey, bro, thank you for letting us be entertained by your trauma for the past hour.
Oh, I got way more.
Thank you for coming back. Well, we're gonna definitely have you coming back. I like this. Chavey's gonna be a regular on the show, guys. So get used to him. Whenever he has time, we're gonna let him come back and fucking do this again.
Cracking us up.
Yeah.
I wish you well. You guys are amazing. Even though I haven't seen you, if you're supporting them, I love you. So thank you.
We love you too.
Hell yeah. Thank you, brother.
My man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Slapped the mic on that last one. I hope I didn't.
Nah, you good, dog. Peace out, everyone.